Hey folks, we're live on South Padre Island. How many folks get to go to work barefooted every day, right? Pretty good life out here. A lot of folks out windsurfing today. We've been a bunch of those guys out here the last couple of hours, and it's been a good day for that because the seas are pretty high, and they say it's almost too windy for that. But let's take a look at why the water's coming so high up onto the beach. Really, we talked about that easterly fetch. The fetch is kind of the distance that wind is coming across the Gulf of Mexico, and it's coming all the way from the other side of the Gulf. So it's an easterly fetch, we call that, and that's kicking up some pretty good waves in this part of the Gulf. And so what that does is, imagine if you just kind of took a big fan and blew it all the way across the Gulf like those arrows are doing. That pushes the water up against the coast, and it makes it get a lot higher up here. So that's why we have higher than normal surf in terms of just the run up on the beach is higher than normal. On top of that, you get that much more water, you're going to have more dangerous rip currents, so that tends to be a problem. Now, let's look at the wave heights just right now, and you can see they're running about 5 feet just offshore, and there's a little peak a little more than that up in the coastal bend, so even a little higher than that up in the coastal bend. But if you take a look at it, still pretty good waves across the Gulf of Mexico. Now, Future Track suggests on the wave heights that with the winds, things are going to die down just a little bit over the next couple of days. Here you see it. Again, this is Future Track. The yellow indicates higher winds, and the other colors are not quite as windy, but you can see that kind of fades away. So at least we're going to continue to see this for another day or so, then it should fade. Now, today, it was hot, not so much here at the beach, but the rest of the valley. Look at that. McAllen hit a record at 98. Weslaco hit a record at 96. Second hottest day ever in November. Harlingen hit 94, and Brownsville didn't quite make the record at 91 degrees this afternoon. Let's see where we are right now across the valley, and our current temperatures indicate that we've cooled off in many areas. Here at the beach, we're down in the low 80s, even upper 70s, while other places are staying considerably warmer than that across the area as we speak. The latest temperature showing what we're reading across the valley right now. Now, dew points at this hour are up. Most of the dew points, certainly here at the island, dew points are in the mid-70s, so the humidity levels are quite high here at the coast. Across the rest of the valley, just a little bit lower, but they're coming up. In fact, the Muggy meter suggests that we're averaging about 72, so we're definitely up into that very humid category, and we're likely to stay there for another day or so. If we look ahead the next 3 days, look what happens to the high temperatures. Again, the normal for this time of year is 84. We do bring it down from 94 to 88 to 86. So we do stair-step it down, and that's courtesy of a very weak front on Thursday, into Friday really. And I say very weak, but it does bring temperatures down 8 degrees. So while it's very weak, and it won't drop us below normal, it's still going to be still a front that's not the one that everybody's waiting for. Let's watch Future Track and see what happens over the next few days. And I think tomorrow, like today, is probably mainly dry and isolated showers possible, but most areas tomorrow will stay rain-free once again, but spotty shower is the key. Things change on Thursday, though. With that front approaching from the north, the moisture over the valley really thickens up. And on Thursday, I think our rain chance really jumps because there's enough moisture around that almost everybody gets at least a shower on Thursday. And there could even be a couple of thunderstorms mixed in with that on Thursday. So the potential is there, at least for a couple of spots, to pick up some decent rain. By Friday, it gets pushed back out. We're back to isolated showers on Friday, and I think by the weekend you're talking about very isolated showers, really not that much activity over the weekend. So our rain chances the next 3 days, what you see is that we peak on Thursday, and then we drop back off after that to 30% on Friday. But each of the next 3 days, there will be showers, but again, the most active day looks like it will be Thursday in the valley. Now, if you're headed to the coast, if you want to come out and check out the waves and the seas, again, this is not all that unusual for this time of year. It's something you don't see in the summertime when the water's coming up this high. In the morning, 82 degrees, southeasterly winds about 13. UV, of course, is still high. The rip current risk, point that out, rip current risk is high. The surf temperature is 83 degrees, and notice the air temperatures tend to stay right near the surf temperature. And then the tides, there are a couple of them coming up. There's one coming up about 7 o'clock tonight. That's the high. And then there's a low at 10:35 in the morning, and the next high tomorrow night just before 8 p.m. Seas 3 to 5 feet, and that's about what we're seeing even here right near the surf, right near the coast right now. So for tonight across the valley, skies stay mainly clear, maybe some patchy fog later on, lows of about 75. Then tomorrow we jump back up into the upper 80s, low to mid 90s, depends on where you are. Here at the coast, about 86 or so. Inland, about 94. We will be in record territory across much of the valley again tomorrow. So here's your forecast. Notice we do cool it off. The front does come through. Doesn't make a big difference, but as we head into the weekend, notice the nighttime lows drop back into the 60s again, with daytime highs cooling back into the 80s. So while it's not a big front, it's not that big cold push air you're waiting for, it will cool things off at least a little bit, and just in time for the weekend. And oh yes, don't forget, Saturday night, Sunday morning, that's when you set your clocks back 1 hour. It's good to be out here enjoying the beautiful view here at South Padre Island. We'll be back a little bit later on with another update. Live on South Padre Island, Tim Smith, Channel 5 News at 6.